Hey guys, this is Kaede and today I wanted to share something different with you. My first time ever playing Minecraft. You see, the other day during one of my streams, which you should totally go and check out sometime, would be awesome, my friend Sarah Darkness 7 decided to give me a copy of Minecraft Windows Edition. And while talking to her, I had only one real question about the game. Does it have a tutorial? She said no. There and then, it just looked like a perfect opportunity for me to go and record myself playing this game, without any aid, nor looking up any guides online. After all, without any input from the MC community, could I get into this game despite not really ever having had the desire to try it out? As you no doubt have seen, first thing I did was mess with the options and settings, first to put the game in English, mostly because I don't trust most Brazilian and Portuguese translations. Next, naturally, I went about editing my little cubic shaped self to better reflect my personality. The in-game graphics, for the longest time, were one of the things that put me off from playing Minecraft. All respect for the developers and the fans, but I just found them ugly. You can argue it's about doing a 3D representation of a 2D sprite, but it doesn't stop being ugly on first glance. Luckily, as I worked on building myself with the game's building blocks, I managed to put that issue aside and focus on the creation possibilities. The game provides plenty of ways to customize your character, though most of them are not readily available to you. So my initial appearance was pretty basic, but effective. With my avatar ready, next step was creating the world. Minecraft creates it randomly for you, which is awesome, and demands a lot of programming work. There were several options to fiddle with in the creation menu, but the only real option I changed was the difficulty. My friend Sarah recommended that I should start on peaceful, to get a better bearing of the game before I started playing it for reals. That aside, I was still pretty much going in blind, only knowing about things I've known through pop culture osmosis. So I went about testing the buttons, and true enough, I soon discovered that it was no exaggeration that the game had no tutorial. Here I was, on this bright green meadow near the water, and I find out that you don't even need any tools to mine. You can just punch stuff and it will break. And when I say punch stuff, I mean all stuff. Even the ground can be punched to mine for dirt. Of course, I was aware already to never mine downwards, so I didn't do that. As I began trying to acquire wood from a tree, I came across my first real surprise. The physics of the game are weird. While characters obey gravity, blocks don't, so you just can't really cut a tree and yell, "Timber!" No sooner I had a bunch of crap in my inventory, options to build were showing in my recipe book in the left. I also spotted a cave, and if there's one thing I know is that you don't go into caves without a light source. Having none, or even weapons for that matter, I ignored it. I saw plenty of animals wandering about, but since they didn't really come to me, I didn't go to them, at first. Due to how slow it was to mine for wood on the trees, I spent the next few minutes mining dirt instead, which as we'll see was due to my own lack of experimentation. No sooner did I fiddle about with the recipe menus, I discovered how to see all craftable things, even things I could not craft. Having finally learned how to turn lumber into wood blocks for construction, came my next small challenge, building my first house. During my haphazard attempt, that's when I figured out that to remove anything you've placed down, you basically need to mine it again, which might feel weird, but sort of works when you think about everything in this game as a building block. So in a way, it's like playing Lego, with Lego pieces that aren't always the right shape. Soon enough, naturally, I ran out of enough wood, and my house was looking positively pathetic. And one of the things that really bugged me is that the trees not falling down when cut means that I was leaving a lot of tree blocks just floating in the air, which can be quite frustrating for a compulsive gatherer like I am. Really, don't put me in a Bethesda game, I'll obsess over grabbing anything not stuck on the ground. Another small frustrating thing is how the recipe book lets you see recipes for things you only have half ingredients for, and it took me a while to figure out that it does that to let you know what you're missing without you having to search through all recipes. As night fell, I was struck trying to build my roof with dirt blocks due to not having enough wood. With the square moon hanging in the sky and my finding out I could use dirt blocks as makeshift steps to climb higher, I began to consider my options. Do houses need to have perfectly lined up blocks? Can you leave it floating in the air as long as the corners touch? I'll only really discover that once I play into any modder other than Peaceful, I guess. As I continue to gather resources all over, not sure what to prioritize. Hi Cal. I went exploring a bit over the other hill, as I saw something glowing, and saw that the floor is lava! And naturally, you can't mine lava either, because it's lava. So I tried punching the rock floor instead. Ow. Finally, I discovered I could craft a crafting table to craft other items, and I quickly made one and placed it on my shack that didn't really qualify as a shack. And wow, did I have a lot of stuff I could craft now. Obviously, being surrounded by wood and dirt, those were the main resources I had available for building tools, so I went about gathering more wood. By the way, mining in the dark, hard work. I crafted myself a pickaxe, an axe, and a sword, even though I really had nothing to fight at the moment in peaceful mode. I went about gathering more wood, quickly understanding how the right tool makes mining a lot quicker, as well as learning of tool endurance. And as I sat in my uncovered shack, maybe more like a pillow fort, my decision to remake that shack into a better housing situation was made. So I quickly busted the whole thing down, recovering all blocks I had used for the building. That's very economical, I'll tell ya. Also, fuck this cow for no particular reason. She broke my axe, that cunt. Deciding to use a taller hill area as the building foundation for my house, I went about cleaning the area, placing the steps to where the door would be, and then circling the perimeter with wood. Also, this fucking cow decided to jump in uninvited. Thinking ahead, I left some holes in the walls at face level so I could use them as makeshift windows. I didn't really see any option to make windows in the recipe book. After letting my killer instinct loose and killing the cows for beef, I placed my storage chest and my crafting table on a nifty little corner of the house, and killed the solicitor. With my intentions of having the house with a roof higher than straight above my head, that meant gathering more resources, but try as I might, I couldn't find any recipes for building a ladder. And as I fiddled about with the recipe book, I came across two things that would really signify this was a home. A bed, and a sign to put outside. The bed would require wool, and the sign, more wood. The sign is simple but straightforward. Felt it was important to put the date, show when it all began, you know? As I hunt for more sheep, and alpacas, and other animals, to get the wool, I did get animal leather to build myself a pair of boots, which really looked bigger than me. I briefly considered using dirt to make my house's roof, but that just would be lazy, wouldn't it? Instead, I started to think in 3 dimensions, and used the dirt blocks to build a way up, to finish cutting off those damn floating trees. Which is also when I learned gravity is a harsh mistress, and jumping from too big a height is not a good idea. After a good night's work cutting wood to build the flat rooftop of my house, it came to me that it would be good having a way up to the roof, to get a good view from far away. So I built a path up using steps and wood blocks, and that way I avoid hurting myself every time I climb down from the roof. Lastly, but just as important, I finished gathering wool and made myself a bed. After all, I do need a place to sleep if this is my house. Using the bed makes it my respawn point, and all indicates it would make morning come if I sleep at night. And thus, by the end of an hour and a half of gameplay, here I was, a blocky pilgrim in the world of my creation. This has been my first time playing Minecraft.